hoping to be the fastest person to finish 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. Leah Craven spoke with him. Doug Wilson has never been fitter, but it's hard to believe just last year a brain tumour left him so incapacitated he had to learn how to walk again.
I feel like when I run now, it's like running in a completely new body.
This was Doug in 2012. The globe-trotting runner finished 3rd in the Antarctic Ice Marathon. Little did he know, he was living with a brain tumour the size of a golf ball. Now recovered and rehabilitated, he's back on the international marathon circuit and more determined than ever.
I actually think I have my illness to thank for that. If anything, it gave me a mental boost, mental toughness. I feel stronger because of it.
Doug's taking his passion to the next level as one of 12 people set to compete in the first World Marathon Challenge. Fighting fatigue and jet lag, he'll run 42-kilometre tracks in Antarctica, Chile, Miami, Spain, Morocco, the UAE, and finally, Australia, running in temperatures ranging from -20 to 40 degrees. The entire race must be completed in 168 hours.
If you get the thought in your head and then believe it in your heart that you can do it, then it can be done.
Although Doug's competed in marathons in some of the most exotic places in the world, he says his favourite place to run is here by the bay in Melbourne. The challenge now is not just to survive the gruelling competition, but to win and set a world record. Leah Craven, 10 Eyewitness News.
AFL club St Kilda has called on some outside inspiration as it looks to climb the ladder in 2016. Doug Wilson nearly died of a brain tumour and went on to run 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 different continents. He dropped in on the Saints and Mark McGugan was there.
With another marathon AFL season just around the corner, there are few people better placed to inspire the boys from St Kilda than Doug Wilson.
Honestly, if there was ever a time in my life where I really had to fight and back myself, this was it.
Wilson is not just a marathon runner, he's a remarkable tale of success against the odds.
I always assume that the day that I do find that limit, I will collapse or something like that, but I've never actually found that limit yet.
The pinnacle of that search came earlier this year when Wilson ran 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 different continents. His journey taking him from Antarctica to Chile, on to the United States, then Spain, Morocco and Dubai, before finishing in Sydney. A gut-busting 42 kilometres a day, all completed on little sleep, through wildly varying climates and time zones, and with almost no recovery time.
It is inspiring. It's a little bit scary how what the body can go through, I guess.
But that's only a part of Doug's story. Only 2 years earlier, he'd very nearly lost his life.
I'd sort of lay in bed after collapsing with the room spinning around me, telling myself not to be so weak.
The problem, a golf ball-sized tumour on his brain. After a 13-hour operation, he left hospital in a wheelchair, having lost the balance function in his right side. Told he may not walk again for 18 months, he ran an ultra-marathon within 6, putting his remarkable recovery down to a new plant-based diet, yoga and the power of the mind.
There's always ways around the mind. You know, the body will do what you tell it to do if you can sort of not let the mind dictate too much.
Even now, Doug still struggles with balance but simply refuses to give in. He's aiming to run across Australia later this year.
If I fall, again, it's pick myself up. Don't lay around thinking, the fall's already happened, just time to get up and get on with it.
And that's a message these Saints would do well to soak in as they prepare to battle Port Adelaide next week. Mark McGugan, 9 News.
For most people, a group of 11 men and 1 woman have been running 7 of them on 7 continents, all in the space of a week. Well, the group started in Antarctica at the Union Glacier on January 17th. From there, they got onto a plane to Punta Arenas in Chile for the 2nd marathon. Miami in the United States was their 3rd stop, followed by the Spanish capital, Madrid. Marrakesh in Morocco marked their stop in Africa. There it is. And of course, they zipped across to Dubai for their 6th marathon on that schedule. The final stop was Sydney, Australia, just 1 week after they started, and Andrew Thomas was there to meet them.
These 12 people have been running around the world. Since last Saturday, they've run 6 marathon courses on 6 continents. That's 42 kilometres in Antarctica, another 42 in Chile, here in Florida the same, before further marathons in Spain, Morocco and Dubai. The runners, of course, have flown more than they've run, 9 flights since their first Antarctic race. For their final flight to Sydney, some dressed up on board for show. Within 4 hours of landing though, the real running gear was on.
Your head's all over the place from what day is it, what country we're in, what's next, what time zone.
Ted Jackson's raised more than $200,000 for charity. His wife has multiple sclerosis.
Well, I just got a text from her saying I was up to £136,000 now. So every time I go on a plane, it seems to go up £2,000 or £3,000. So that's nice.
2 years ago, doctors found a tumour on Douglas Wilson's brain. He beat that. The marathons had to get his previous fitness back.
Yeah, feeling okay. The body's held up, but the mental fatigue is starting to kick in. All the flying, the jet lag, everything like that, it's all coming to a head now.
In Sydney, a midnight start is needed to get all 7 races run within the 168 hours of a week. Quickly, the runners spread out. Each marathon has had its own particular challenge. In Antarctica, it was the cold. In Morocco, it rained. In Dubai, the heat. Here in Sydney, it's running at night after a 16-hour flight, and of course, after running 6 previous marathons. Blistered feet and swollen ankles are almost badges of honour. Douglas Wilson was first across the Sydney line. His time, 3 hours 17 minutes, was the fastest run all week.
I think it's going to take like a week or 2 to get back on track, and then it'll all sort of start sinking back in.
Meanwhile, there's one overwhelming priority: rest. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Sydney.
Doug Wilson nearly died of a brain tumour and went on to run 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 different continents.
Wilson is not just a marathon runner, he's a remarkable tale of success against the odds.
My illness gave me perspective in life that it's important to always keep pushing and to always keep going no matter what.
After a 13-hour operation, he left hospital in a wheelchair, having lost the balance function in his right side. Told he may not walk again for 18 months, he ran an ultra-marathon within 6, putting his remarkable recovery down to a new plant-based diet, yoga, and the power of the mind.
After leaving hospital in a wheelchair, it forced me to look at my health in a new way, which ultimately led me to finding yoga, meditation, and Kundalini energy, which profoundly changed my life. Kundalini is a creative energy that resides in all of us as humankind. I found Kundalini yoga is a great way to stimulate and harness this energy and really unlock its potential. I definitely attribute my rapid recovery and also my Guinness World Record to discovering and working with the proven sciences around Kundalini yoga. What I really want to do with my life is now share these experiences and help other people also discover the amazing possibilities when we tap into this energy.
Doug Wilson has never been fitter, but it's hard to believe just last year a brain tumour left him so incapacitated he had to learn how to walk again.
Doctors found a tumour on Douglas Wilson's brain. He beat that and to get his previous fitness back.
My illness gave me perspective of how important it is in life to challenge yourself and to keep pushing.
Is hoping to be the fastest person to finish 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days.
You can condition your body all you want for something like this, but if the mind goes at any point in that 7 days, it's going to be a struggle to keep going. It's definitely a mental game, this one. If I want life to happen for me in an incredible way, it's my responsibility to do that for myself. Because I feel if I'm not challenging myself in life, then life's just sort of disappearing around me.
Douglas Wilson was first across the Sydney line. His time, 3 hours 17 minutes.
I think to get the full experience of life, you have to go after it.